Hello everyone, this is our topic, the Asian continent by region and income. We are group 5, this is our group member. Okay, in this topic we have 6 parts. Okay, the first part is East Asia, region and income. East Asia has 4 main economics. The first one is China, the third one is Hong Kong, China. The third one is Korea. The first one is Chinese Taipei. The last one is Mongolia. So they have 2 income levels. The first one is rich. In rich is Korea, Hong Kong, China, and Chinese Taipei. And the second one is medium rich. In medium rich is high China, Mongolia. So East Asia makes many things and sells them to the world. It's closely linked to global trade, so changes in world stream or Okay, the next page is East Asia GDP growth and inflation. Okay, the first one is GDP pre-percent in East Asia in 2021. The world's average was $20,329. Places like Korea, Hong Kong had very high GDP per person, but China and Mongolia had low GDP than the world's average, but they are still growing. Okay, the next is inflation in 2022. Inflation means how fast price for things we buy go up. Mongolia has the highest inflation over 10%. That means the price went up a lot. Korea has high inflation too at 5.1%, but China, Hong Kong, and Chinese Taipei had low. Sustainable inflation is stay between 1.9 and 3.1. Okay, the last page is East Asia's development features and risks. The first one is key features. Rich economies grow slowly because of weak global demand. China has the region grows with own market and plurality. Mongolia is selling resources, so global price change hurts is hard. Then the main risks trade tendencies, weak global demand, and slow property.
Now let's look at the Southeast Asia region and income. The Southeast Asia includes countries like Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, and Singapore. These countries have different income levels. For example, Singapore is high income, while others are middle-income countries. This region is also becoming an important manufacturing and export center. And next part, Southeast Asia GDP and inflation. Southeast Asia has stable economic growth. Countries like Vietnam and Indonesia grow faster, while Thailand and Singapore grew more slowly. Inflation is moderate, around 2 to 3%. So overall, the region is stable and developing. Now let's look at Southeast Asia development factors. Each country has different development factors. Singapore depends on global trade, Indonesia on domestic demand, and Vietnam on export and investment. Thailand has slower growth and higher debate, so the main challenging external economic pressure.
Hi everyone, my name is Wang Xinghao. South Asia is one of the most important developing regions in the world. It includes countries such as India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Nepal. The region has a population of around 1.9 billion people, which is about a quarter of the global population. Economically, South Asia has a total GDP of approximately 4.5 trillion US dollars, and it has maintained an average growth rate of around 5 to 6% in recent years. This growth mainly driven by a large labor force and expanding service sectors. However, despite its rapid growth, South Asia still faces challenges such as income inequality and uneven development across countries. South Asia has several rising economies with different strengths. As you can see from the slide, Bangladesh is growing fast due to its textile exports. Looking at Pakistan, its economy relies on agriculture and manufacturing, but its growth is unstable. For Sri Lanka, as known here, it depends on tourism and is still recovering from an economic crisis. If we look at India, it's the strongest economy with stable growth driven by IT and manufacturing. Overall, as illustrated in the slide, growth in the region is uneven and varies across countries. Despite its growth potential, South Asia faces several major challenges. These include high poverty rates, inadequate infrastructure, political instability, and vulnerability to climate change. At the same time, the region also has strong opportunities. South Asia has a very young population, which provides a large and growing workforce. In addition, the expansion of the digital economy and increasing regional trade can further support economic development. In conclusion, South Asia has a significant long-term potential, but achieving sustainable growth will require structural reforms and better economic policies.
The Pacific region consists of small island economies, such as Papua New Guinea, Fiji, and Cook Island. Most countries are lower middle income except Fiji, which is upper middle income. The region shows moderate growth around 3.9% in 2025 and slightly lower in 2026, while inflation remain relatively stable. A key characteristic of this region is its strong dependence on tourism and natural resources, making these economies highly vulnerable to external shock as global crises and climate change. In the next slides, I provided you guys the GDP growth rate and inflations for Asian countries expected in 2025 until 2026. At the under red line, the Pacific world, as you can see there, the GDP growth of Pacific are remain drop, but the inflations are remain the same as it is starting point on 2024. The Pacific region, as if the GDP growth mainly through tourism's recovery, natural resource export, and natural and external support. However, this number shows us that growth is gradually slowing while inflation is increasing. This reflects the region's vulnerability due to small economic size and strong dependence on external factors. The Caucasus and Central Asia region includes countries like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Georgia, and Armenia. This region has higher growth compared to the Pacific, with GDP growth above 5%, mainly driven by natural resources such as oil and gas. However, inflation is also relatively high, especially in Kazakhstan. Overall, the region shows strong growth potentials, but it also faces challenges related to inflation and dependence on resource export.
Today I will briefly analyze Asia's economic structure and development outlook. Asia shows great economic diversity with high income hub, fast growing economics and emerging markets. Its core strengths lie in global supply chain integration, demographic advantage, and strong industrial competitiveness, with East and Southeast Asia as the key manufacturing and export center. Meanwhile, the region faces common challenges: internal market dependence, inequality, and structural pressure like aging population. In the short term, East Asia is recovering, and Southeast Asia grows steadily. For long-term development, we need innovation, inclusive growth, infrastructure investment, and trade diversification. In short, Asia remains a global economic powerhouse, and its sustainable development depends on balanced growth and enhanced resilience.
Okay, thanks for your listening and watching.